Good morning, Facebook. SERVPRO.
Good morning,
SERVPRO Live
Coach.
back on the show.
Back on the show. Good to be back.
Anna Kirkpatrick over here to my left.
Yes, we're maybe not going to use that term anymore.
Oh no, we're using it because if it has ever stuck, it sticks now.
It's sticking now. It's definitely sticking in my name tag, for better or for worse, apparently.
See, I know it. And as you can see, we've got Chelsea with us today in studio.
Yes, we
It's
do.
good to be back. Thanks for
Chelsea
having
is
me
going to
back.
be our special guest today because we're going to talk about something towards the end of the show that you are an expert in the field on.
Yes.
See that? See that? Threw that out there for you?
Yes, if there's anyone who knows about the topic that we're going to touch on today, it is Chelsea here. So we're really excited to hear some input into what she has to say, and also for you guys to get a little bit of information from what she sees
she
during this time of year.
Knows her stuff for sure.
Yep. Before we get into that, though,
Take
it away, Coach.
It's March,
Yep.
which means what?
It's my birthday month.
No, that's not what we're talking about, but happy birthday month.
Oh.
It is March Madness.
Okay.
That's like a birthday gift for everybody. Everybody loves March Madness. Even the people who don't watch basketball this time of year are filling out brackets, picking team. Look, do it however you have to do it. If that means picking by mascots or jersey colors, I've seen people do them all ways, and I've seen people win doing all of them. Do what you got to do, but make a bracket because this is one of the most fun times of year.
I'll be picking off a blindfold.
No, we've already talked a little bit about your picks. You're not off by far.
Not
I like
totally,
it.
but I mean, it feels like that sometimes.
Chelsea, have you made a bracket yet?
I did make a bracket. This is about the only sport event that I get excited for. I don't watch anything up until this, and then I just go off of
You go straight
favorite
into
colors.
March Madness. Now,
Oh,
do
okay.
you watch basketball throughout the season or just in March Madness?
I don't even watch it in March Madness. I just pick the bracket and hope for the best. But
That works.
It's the only sport that I pay attention to
Well,
somewhat
it's basically
at
all
all.
off of luck anyways.
I'll check my bracket.
See,
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
sometimes that helps you because I think if you don't come into it with some preconceived notion of who should win or this team beat this team, then you can just go into it with a blank slate, pick your teams, and be fine.
Yeah, that's never happened or helped me before. I've done SERVPRO brackets for 5 years and gotten dead last pretty much. It's more of a win if I don't get dead last.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be top 3.
There was a lady a few years ago who let her granddaughter pick the games based on mascots, and she won the entire thing.
Oh.
And her granddaughter was 7. So I'm just saying it can happen either way it goes.
Well, I have a niece and nephew, so I might just have them do that. Which is the prettiest one.
Do you already have your like you've already got yours filled out, so you have a champion in mind?
I mean, I have a champion in mind.
Well, save it. Don't tell it.
Okay.
We're
I
going.
won't say it. Okay.
At the end of the show, I want us to all tell who we've got winning the whole thing.
That's right, because we got some other madness stuff that we got to address.
Absolutely. We've got madness that can break loose in your house.
That's right.
First thing we want to do, we wanted to kind of touch today on processes because one thing that we get a lot is we have people call us who say, listen, I have a busted water line in my house or I have some storm damage from a tree. I don't know what steps to take. And, I don't want to step out of line and do the wrong thing at the wrong time. How should I go about this? So we kind of want to go through those steps with you guys today. Just touch on what the right way to approach one of those is. So let's do if you have a busted line in your house first.
Yes. So let's say, you come home one day, say after vacation, because obviously that's the time where all disasters
happens
happen.
a lot.
When you're not in your house or wherever it is that you're at. And you find out, you come in and you have your basement's flooded or your hot water heater tank burst. Whatever the case is, the first thing that you want to do is shut your water off.
Immediately.
Shut your water off. Find out if you're watching this right now, pause, go find your water heater and where your water shut off tag is, shut it off so that you know where it is. Don't shut it off right now, but at least that you know where it is, and so that way you can kind of, in an emergency, you can find it quick.
And if you don't know where that's at, you can also go out in your yard and find the main shutoff that comes to the house.
That's right, and just follow it into the location where it is. After you do that, to call your insurance agent, make sure that you're in contact with them. Once you've done those things, give our team a call. Because sometimes in certain situations, it could be a plumbing issue, it could be a faulty line, a frozen pipe. I mean, it could be anything. So what we can do here on our team is just connect you with the right professional. So that way we're already getting ahead of the process and you know which steps to take. Like Coach said, there's a process to this. There's a method in the madness. So even though your first instinct may want to be like, I need to get a bunch of towels, I need to mop this water up, I need to clean this, get this figured out, make sure you're calling the right professionals. Make sure you're calling SERVPRO so we can get you a roadmap for what to do in case a busted pipe happens. Yeah. Now, if there are other situations, say there's a storm and a tree falls on your house. Coach, what happens when a tree falls on your house?
A little bit different. So let's say storm blows through, tree limb comes down, now you've got a hole in your roof, it's raining, water's coming in. In those situations, people tend to panic. They don't know what to do. Do you stop the water first from getting on all over everything? So they call us. In that situation, we want to help you there too. So we want you to call us first. You should immediately call your insurance company. They should be your first call. Then you call us, because what we can do is we can help take away all the decisions you're having to make. We can put you in touch with the guy who can come out, get a tree off your roof, because first step is we've got to get that tree out of there. Second step is we've got to tarp that roof. We've got roofing professionals that we know, that we can recommend.
That's right.
You can choose which one you like. They can come out, tarp that roof. Once the roof is tarped, then we can already have everything signed up because we've been on site. We've seen what the damage is. We already know how much equipment we need, how many people we need. The second that roof is tarped and water has stopped coming in, we can have people in there to start taking up that water and starting the drying process.
That's right. Now, Coach, explain, why do you need to tarp the roof first before we actually get in there?
Well, because if we come in and we begin work on a house that still has water coming into it, we're just defeating the purpose.
That's right.
I don't want you to have to do something twice. And your insurance company does not want you to have to do it twice. So in those eyes, let's stop the source. Then we can dry everything instead of having to, even if you think you've got it stopped. All right, I feel like it's not raining anymore. The rain has stopped. So can y'all come out here and get the water up? Well, until that roof's tarped, if it rains 2 hours from now and our crews have already got on site and started extracting that water, it's just going to come back in.
Right.
So get in touch with us. Let us put you in touch with the right people. Let us get on site, figure out what all we need so that the second that thing is tarped, we can be rolling and have you set up. And that's the most important thing is you don't think about it. On our side of things, we deal with this every day. This is it's natural for us. We know it. But when somebody who's never had to deal with this all of a sudden has water pouring into their house, you don't have time to think, do I have a plumber that I know?
That's right,
Do I have a roofer that I know? Now I need to get online and look for one. Just call us. Let us help you, because we've got a list of those guys that we can say, hey, here are you some options. We want to be able to help take away some of those decisions for you so that you can just focus on your personal belongings. If you had something get wet that's a personal belonging, you can get those things out of the way and be taking care of that. And we don't want you stressing over things we can help with.
Right. I mean, the last thing I want to deal with if something like that were to happen to my home is who is the roofer that I have to contact, who is a plumber, who is maybe even an electrician or HVAC, whatever it is, all these contractors and services, when it's so easy if I could just make one call to professionals such as SERVPRO that are involved in this industry and know the right people to connect you with to help you in those moments. Now, those are for smaller events. Say, for example, the busted pipes, your everyday kind of things. However, when it comes to large-scale events, Coach, how many of you know that there's only so many roofers, so many plumbers, so many SERVPROs that can help until what is activated, which is why our girl here, Chelsea, is on. So, Chelsea, can you just kind of explain a little bit what you do, introduce your role in the SERVPRO system?
Yeah, so if you didn't know, SERVPRO does have national storm teams. And what we do for SERVPRO is when a local event happens, such as a flooding event, you can have anything from tornadoes, flooding events, to hurricanes. Hurricanes you can prepare for somewhat and board up, pre-do some things to protect your home, move your personal belongings. But a lot of times people don't know those storms coming. And so what SERVPRO does and what I do is, well, actually there's a whole team of us. It's not just myself.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are running
You
around
guys are a
like
force. Let me tell you something. There's Space Force and then there's SERVPRO Force, and
we're spread out.
They are the A team of this thing. I mean, the freeze event.
Yes.
You talked about hurricanes and storms. The freeze event was one you guys were wide
that was
open.
Definitely an unexpected event. We knew it was going to be cold, but we didn't know it was going to freeze 5 states, I think is how many it ended up covering. So what we do is when a local contractor, a local SERVPRO is inundated with calls, we get activated. And so we will contact franchises all over the U.S. We even had some come from Hawaii, I think, for that freeze event, which was an amazing travel for them. And we kind of support that local community, that SERVPRO community, because they've built relationships with the people there. They're there to support the community, so we're there to support them. So when they get overwhelmed, we come in, we bring in traveling teams. Those traveling teams try to produce as many jobs as quickly as possible, especially during hurricanes. We do tarping services.
Yeah.
We have franchises that special in that. Most franchises now will offer board up to reconstruction, and so we provide some of that service, that emergency service, and then we exit the community and let the local contractors take over again. And so what Storm does is not only facilitate that happening, but we remain a point of contact for that community, for the host as well as the customers that we service throughout the event. So they will process their claim paperwork that the franchises turn in, and then go help. Really, we call it a customer care team, and we kind of help the claim process, because those storm claims do get very confusing, especially with it's not a normal water damage. It's a cat event essentially.
And I remember just being in Texas when all that happened, which was to me historic. Like I was
definitely.
I came from Boston, then to Texas, everyone said, "Don't worry about bringing a jacket; it's always hot here." And then, I mean, a couple months in, and it was just freezing. Everything was cold.
Everything
I'm like,
was locked down.
And none of us know what to do. We're like, how do we drive in this?
No one knows how to drive. I'm like, is there no salt on the roads? But basically, what our storm team does, as Chelsea was saying, I mean, you guys just are like the hub and the brain for all of these teams that were traveling. I remember I had, there were teams that had never traveled before for Storm, and they were starting, and you were helping, like assisting them on like, hey, this is where you're going to stay. These are the locations that you're going to go on. This is the process.
These are your first jobs that you're being dispatched to.
Right. And I know when I was with the SERVPRO franchise in Texas, how grateful we were that we had other people on the green team just representing our brand so well and helping to back up, you know, all that we've said about our team, that we're ready for whatever happens.
Yeah, it was the largest event that I've been a part of. I think it's the largest event that the industry has seen in history. As far as I understand, we had well over 100 franchises come to support thousands of people. It was fun, and the way that I describe it is like if you ever watched like anything on Wall Street, like we're just yelling and throwing paper at each other throughout the whole event.
Organized chaos.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
Yeah.
Madness.
It is organized chaos at its best.
That's true. But at the end of the day, what's important is that we service as many people as possible, as many people in need as possible, and then we also provide that one point of contact for all your needs, from the host, the participating franchise, your insurance claims adjusters, as well as the homeowner themselves.
I think the thing about that I take away from it is when you have a team like SERVPRO, who is your number one source for coming in and helping take care of these kind of things, the way they put that together, all the franchises act like a giant safety net. Right. So it's like while each franchise is its own franchise, they all come together and form together to create this chain that can cover we can blanket an area with teams that will flood in to help take care of large events like that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so interesting to see, because you said, I mean, there were hundreds of SERVPROs that were out there, but for them to all be working in sync is just a credit to our Storm team.
That's the old Thundercats. You're too young to remember Thundercats.
No, I remember.
Do you? When they would all come together and they formed a one?
Yes, that's like huge.
We're gonna get y'all
That's
shirts.
like
SERVPRO Thundercats.
But they're, you guys, I mean, personally, my heroes during that time, because I remember just walking around and seeing, I mean, I couldn't drive to the store for like 2 miles without seeing a SERVPRO vehicle. And I know in the back of my head, I'm like, there's someone on the storm team making sure that host or that participant is being ready, to serve the community.
I remember when the hurricane hit down at the beach. We have some friends of ours who had a place down there, and she called and said, there are green vehicles everywhere, like in every parking lot. And I said, yeah, they're coming from all over the country. They're down there to fix all that.
I actually, during that freeze event, I went to like grocery shopping one day, and I saw, no kidding, a SERVPRO Corvette.
I've never seen a SERVPRO Corvette.
In a parking lot. And it was,
I need to talk to somebody about getting a new company vehicle.
And I remember I looked up the name of the SERVPRO, and it was a SERVPRO out in California. I was like, you know what, figures.
That makes sense.
Figures. But I'm like, I would like one of these when it's not, 3 degrees outside.
I don't necessarily have to have a Corvette, but if we could do like a 2500 truck or something along those lines, just something to be thinking about for our next contract for SERVPRO Live.
That'd be great. Yes.
We're gonna get you set up too.
I'll have my people and your people kind of connect. And
reach out to Chelsea's people, and then her people can talk to.
I don't know where the Corvette came from. We bring 18-wheelers. That's what we bring.
Yeah, we have
full of equipment.
It was a traveling team. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, maybe one fan, but
if you guys, if you're going down the road and you see a SERVPRO 18-wheeler heading down the road, they are going somewhere to help a lot of people, and that thing is loaded with equipment.
Yep, loaded with equipment and loaded with people.
Yeah, ready to go.
Well, probably not loaded with people, but.
Yeah,
well, that's true. That's true.
I don't think that's road safe.
Well, I mean,
probably lose our DOT license for that one.
2 or 3
just to
driving.
be clear, they are not loaded with people.
It is stacked high. Yeah, stacked high. You couldn't fit anything but equipment in those things.
So this is why Chelsea's on the storm team, and
that's correct.
Thankfully, or else I'd just be like, just get one in after the
other.
Well,
I personally. Just amazed by the fact that we have such an amazing team that does that. Chelsea, thank you for what you do with that team, because you are an integral part of that deal.
Thank you.
And help keep this thing rolling. I've seen it in action, and that is out of my wheelhouse. I'm not an organized person, and if you're not organized, you can't be involved with that, because that is more than I want to do. So, great. You guys have a great team.
Yeah.
Speaking of teams,
we
said we were going to come back to it. I want to know who you guys picked to win the whole thing.
So, Coach, remember that first time when we were on this set and you asked me what team I was rooting for?
I do.
And you said that you're a big fan of Auburn.
I am.
And so I said that I was a big fan of Alabama.
Come on, Anna.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at stats, and numbers don't lie. We're a data-driven company.
I like where you're going.
Data makes decisions. Data drives decisions. So I'm going to be rooting for Auburn.
Yes. We are turning you. I like it.
For March Madness. Football season comes along.
We'll start there. We'll start there, and then we'll work into other aspects.
All right. Well, for now, I'm hoping Auburn kind of takes it.
I like it.
We'll see what happens.
I like it.
Who do you
Chelsea?
got?
We'll see what Chelsea's got.
I went with Baylor.
That's
purely
not a bad
because I haven't heard anything bad about them in the hallways.
Yeah, no, Baylor is a strong pick, and Baylor is there it seems like they're in it every single year, and we can't get rid of Baylor.
Wait, can I switch?
No, you can't switch. Which, by the way, your Alabama Crimson Tide did beat Baylor at one point this season, so there was that.
But I did watch a Baylor game, and I thoroughly enjoyed
watching
them win. I watched them win, and then I also watched Chip Gaines in the stand going crazy. So that was my entertainment.
I'm going not on a big limb here, but I'm going to go out a little bit. I'm not going to pick a 1 seed. I'm going to do like you and pick a 2 seed.
Okay.
I'm going with Kentucky because I watched Auburn play Kentucky this year, and I saw how strong Kentucky was, and the only reason Auburn beat them was because I believe Kentucky's guard got hurt in that game. But Kentucky has everything. They have great point guards. They may have the most dominant big man in basketball this year. I believe you say his name is Sheboy, but that guy is an NBA body type playing basketball right now at Kentucky. 7-foot tall guy who looks like he could play NFL football.
Oh my.
that guy's going to be trouble in the
I'm
tournament.
gonna have to do some research into what my bracket's.
No,
gonna be.
your bracket sounds great. I like it. I like it. You picked Auburn. We're going to stick with that. That's what we're going to go with, and I hope you're right.
Okay.
Guys, as always, we are so grateful for the trust you guys put in us and the clients that you send us and the trust you have in us to come into your home and take care of things when we have issues like busted pipes, like trees on houses, and like storms. But we will always be here anytime you need us. We're 24/7, 365.
That's right.
Call us if you need us.
And we're here to help.
Here to help. We were way off on that, by the way,
okay.
guys. We'll get back.